Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen how to configure JWT in our Spring Boot application. So if you haven't watched that video, then go and check out the description for the link. In this video, we are going to start the development of Auth controller. So let's start with that. For that, we have to create REST and then we have to create the service and we have to create the service info. So let me just minimize this. Into this one, first I will create a new folder or new package that is to store all the controllers. So controller. So in the controller, first controller today which we are going to work on is nothing but Auth controller. Auth controller. And we have to create service and service simple package. So service. And we need one more package that is service simple. By mistake, I have selected class, so let me just delete this. Right click on this, new package. Okay, now we have this. One more thing which we need is util package. We have to write one util class. So util package and hit enter. So before we dive into Auth controller, we need two things. One is you have seen in the quick overview video that whenever we sign up, one mail is being triggered. So we have to set up that mail stuff. And before that, we have to set up one utility method. Into this one, we have to add methods like get user by email or throw and get user by ID or throw the exception, get video by ID or throw exception. So these all stuff is required so that we can work hassle-free while developing the Auth controller. So right click on this, click on new Java class. And I will create a service util. Service utils. Create this class. And this class is again a component. Component basically means this. The object or the bean of this class will be created and managed by the IOC container. And whenever at any place we are trying to auto wire the service utils, then it will directly be injected at that particular place. So in this we need two stuff, auto wire, and we need private, we need user repository, then I need another one, auto wire, private, video repository, In this one I need first method that is public and which will return user object, get user by email or throw exception. And in this one I will accept email and showing an error. So come over here, click on this, import class. Okay. Next thing, return user repository dot find by email, which doesn't exist over there. So we will create it. So hover on this one, create a method find user by email in the user repository. And this will return an optional of what? User. So if we come over here, next thing what we have to do over here is if this one is available, if not, then or else throw. And with this one, we will pass the supplier. For this one, new resource not found exception. Into this one, we will type simply return user not found with email and whatever email you want to show. Second method after this which we want is public user get user by ID or throw long ID, return user repository dot find by ID. Into this one we will pass the ID dot or else throw new resource not found exception. So in the previous video, in the first video, we have created all of these different exceptions. The one which I'm trying to throw over here, that is resource not found. If I show you resource not found exception, here we have created one. And in the global exception handler, we have handled it. So this we have done in the first video of this series. If you see resource not found exception, so if any exception is there, it will log as a warning and it will return not found with an error message, whatever we are returning. So let's move back over here. So whatever the message, this will be returned with a not found message. Not found the status code. Okay. So into this one, user not found with ID. This one plus ID. Next method which we want is public, and this will return a video object. Get video by ID or throw long ID. Return video repository dot find by ID. Into this one we will pass the ID, or else throw new resource not found exception, and with this one we will pass the message video not found with ID, and plus ID we have to print. So now we are done with this ServiceUtils. So next thing what we have to implement is the email service. So let's quickly jump into the service one. We have to create one service interface, that is email service. So right click on this, click on new Java class and select interface. This will be email service. And now the email service is created as it's an interface, so we don't have to put any annotation on top of this. And in this one we are going to put two methods. One is to send verification email and another is to send password reset email. So void send verification email, and into this one we are going to accept two stuff. One is to which email you have to share, and you have to send the token. Second thing, void send password reset email. In this one we will have string to email and string dot to which token you want to share. Next thing what we have to do is we have to implement this interface in a service impl. So new Java class, and we are going to type the name email service impl. And this will basically implement email service. And when you implement this, it will start showing an error because we have to implement those two methods as well, which is declared in the interface. So select this one, select both and click on OK. And before we proceed further with the implementation, what we have to do is we have to put an annotation @service. So what it will do is it will mark this class as a Spring Bean managed, and this will be managed by the IOC container. In this one, first thing we have to create a logger because we are going to log some of the stuff. So private static final, and we have to create a logger, and we have to use slfoj. Logger is equal to logger factory from the slfoj.get logger, and with this one we have to pass the current implementation dot class. Next thing, we need an auto wire for the private Java mail sender, and this one is coming from, you can see, org Spring Framework mail Java mail dot Java mail sender. So this one is mail sender. So this will be automatically injected, and this class is coming from one of the dependencies which we have added in the POM. Okay. Next thing, we need the front-end URL. So for that, we have to declare one variable, private string front end URL, and with this one we have to add the value. So value, in the value we will put from where you have to fetch. So this is app.fetch frontend.url, and if this is not available in your application or properties, so we have to put default one. So http://localhost:4200. This is the one thing. Next thing what we need is we need the from email, from which email you want to send. So into this one we have to put $open braces string.mail.username, and I'm not going to add a default over here because if I go to the application properties, you will see I have already added string mail.username as btechdays.care@gmail.com. Here you can see. And another thing is, if you see, app.frontend.url is also added over here. That is 4200, which we are using right now. Okay. So for this one, we have to declare private string. Okay, not this one. This is private string from email. Okay. Next thing, let's go and start implementing send verification email. So into this one, we will put the try catch block, try, and we are going to catch any sort of exception EX, and then if anything goes wrong, logger.error, and we will simply type failed to send verification email to whatever the email is, colon, and this one is to email and ex dot get message, and then finally exception, and throw new email not verified exception, and in this one failed to send verification email. In the try block, first thing what we have to do is we have to create a simple mail message object. Simple mail message is equal to new simple mail message. Let me quickly minimize this one. Okay. Okay, by mistake I have typed minus. Okay, so now this one is fine. Next thing, we have to set the message dot set from, and from we have to set from email message dot set to email. Then we have to set the subject. Into this one, whatever the subject you want to send, I'm going to type Netflix clone verify your email. Next thing, what we have to do is we have to create a string verification link, and this will be from frontend URL plus verify email, and we have to pass the token is equal to, and we have to set the token. Next thing, we have to create a body string email body, and this you can do whatever you feel like, whatever the message you want to add. Let me just add it. So I'm going to add this: welcome to Netflix clone /n/n. Thank you for registering. Please verify your email address by clicking on the link below. And I have concatenated this link which I have prepared. Then I have left 2 space line. This link will expire in 24 hours. If you don't create this account, please ignore this email. Or you didn't create this account, then please ignore this email. And again, 2 lines break. Best regards, Netflix clone team. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is, now email body is ready. In the message object, we have to set this one, image.setText. Into this one, we will write email body, and simply we will call mail sender dot send message. And once message is sent, what we will do is we will add a logger.info just to inform or just to re-verify, like verification email sent to, and whatever email is sent to, and we have to add to email, and this is done. So now this method is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to jump into this send password reset email. So into this one again we have to put try and catch block, exception ex. Into this one again we will put the logger dot error, fail to send password reset email to email ex.get message ex, and through new runtime exception fail to send password reset email. Into this one again we have to create simple mail message. Message is equal to new simple mail message. Into this one we will set the simple message dot set from, and we will set from email message dot set to email message dot set subject. We have to set the subject that Netflix clone password reset. Then we will prepare the link. String reset link is equal to frontend URL plus slash reset dash password, and then we have to set the token is equal to plus token. Next thing we have to create a body. So string email body is equal to this one. Hi, we received a request to reset your password. Click the link below to reset it, and this is the reset link. This link will expire in 1 hour. If you didn't requested a password reset, please ignore this email. Best to Netflix clone team. Okay. Next thing is message dot set text. This is email body. And finally, what we have to do is we have to call mail sender dot send message. Now this one is done. Once this message is sent, we have to add a logger just to verify if it worked properly. So info password reset email sent to whatever email you have passed to email, this one. So we are done with the email service. Now what we have to do is we have to jump back into the auth controller and we have to start implementing it. So if I come over here, let's minimize this one, and we have created auth controller and we don't have any service for now. So I will add one service for auth controller. So auth service, I will create one service. Okay, this is an interface. So let me just replace this with interface. Yeah. Next thing, right click on this Java class, auth service impl, and this will basically implement auth service. Okay, now move back to the auth controller. On the auth controller, first thing what we have to do is we have to add a REST controller. So this is combination of two annotation. If I go dive into it, you can see controller and response body and REST controller. So this basically treats this as a controller where all the requests specific to this one will be landing over here. Next thing, and this will indicate that this bean also be managed by the Spring IOC. So over here, request mapping, into this one we have to set the path /API/auth. In this one we need auth service. So we will auto wire private auth service auth service. First method which we need is sign up. So it will be like this @ it's post mapping, and we will give it a path /sign up public response entity. This will return a message response. This message response we have already created. Here you can see, let me show you. So in the DTO, in the first video, we have created a message response class. It looks like this. If you haven't created, you can create it like this one. I'm using the same over here. So this one, the method name is register. I'm going to put one annotation @ valid. And we are going to accept a request body. And this is nothing but user request. So why we have added a valid annotation over here? If I go into this one, if you want to add any validation logic for these fields or any of the fields, so you can add it as we have did in the other classes. So the same way you can proceed. In this one, we will simply return response entity dot OK, and whatever the message being returned from the auth service dot sign up user register. Let's move back over here. Let's quickly change the name for this one as well as a sign up only. So if I hover on this, you can see this method doesn't like. So I will click on this and it will create a message. Message response, sign up, user request and user request. If I jump back, let me minimize this one, and if I jump back to auth service simple, it will start showing an error. So hover on this, implement class, implement method, and select this one and click on OK. So if I jump into the auth service simple, first thing what we have to do is we have to put annotation @service in order to mark this class as a where we are going to put the business logic, and this will also be enabled for bean management by IOC container. So over here we need some of the repositories, so that I will auto wire all the required ones. So auto wire private user repository auto wired. Throughout this we are going to need all of these: private password encoder. This bean we have already created in the previous video for the password encoder. So private email service, which we have created right now, email service. Then we need JWT to generate the token. So AutoWire, JWT util. This one is also private. Next thing, we need @AutoWire private, and we need ServiceUtils, which we have created in this video. So ServiceUtils, in this one we contain all of the business utility methods. So in the sign up, first thing what we have to do is, I'm just going to keep this null for now. Okay, let me just quickly change this. If everything is fine, so in that case what we will do is just replace this with new message response, and with this one we will pass a message like registration successful. Please check your email to verify your account. First thing, we have to check user repository .exist by email. So we have to create one exist by email, and with this one we will pass user request .get email. So this doesn't exist, this method doesn't exist. So what I will do is I will hover on this and create method into this one. So here you can see this, a new method is added, boolean exists by email, and we are passing the email. So JPay will automatically write the query for this by seeing the name, so that we have to verify by the email, and it will work fine. Next thing, if this exists, so in that case what we have to do is we have to simply throw the exception. Throw new email already exists exception, and with this one we will pass email already exists. If this is not the case, then what we have to do is we have to create a user object is equal to new user. Then in the user we will set email, user request dot get email, user dot set password, password encoder dot encode, and we have to set user request dot get password. Next thing what we have to do is we have to set your user dot set full name, user request dot get full name. After this, user dot set role, role dot user, user dot set active is true, user dot set email verification or email verified as false, and then we need to set string verification token is equal to UUID dot random UUID dot to string, user dot set verification token, verification token. Then we have to set user dot set verification token expiry. So instant dot now dot plus in seconds plus seconds. We have to put 86,400 seconds. Next thing, simply we have to call user repository dot save, and we have to pass the user object inside this one, and then we have to simply call nothing but email service dot send verification email and user request, and we have to get the email from this one, and then we have to pass the verification token. So this will save the entity in our database, and then we will send the verification email. So now the sign up is done. Let's quickly verify this one. So I will start the application and I will start the postman. So here you can see this. It started at the localhost 8080. So I have started my postman. Just give me a sec. So this one is :8080. Then after this, what we have is we have API auth /sign up, and we need a body. So this is a post call. We need a body over here, and we have to pass the raw as a JSON. So we have to prepare a JSON for it. So in this we have to pass only three stuff. One is email, and one is password, and one is full name. So before we try this, we have seen that we need an email as well. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Malinator. Public inbox. Now this one, I'm going to enter a Netflix demo 1. Okay, Netflix demo 1 will also work. So let me quickly type it over here, Netflix, this one, and the email needs to be Melinator, M-A-I-L-I-N-A-T-O-R, melinator.com, 123456, and name I'm going to do is Netflix Demo 1. Now quickly send this. Now let's go and check this. Okay, so the call didn't go through, I guess. So we missed the double slash over here after the colon, and now I've added it. Let's try now. So here you can see this, it's throwing in forbidden 403. So let's go over here, the specific key byte array 237, which is not secure enough for the JWT hash map algorithm. So the keys, whatever we have set in the configuration and security config. Okay, let me just quickly check this. Utils, we have security, we have JWT security filter, and JWT util. So in this one, let me quickly copy this one and let's do a bigger one. I have pasted it again. Now restart the application and let's check this time. Let's clear this one. Go to Postman. Try sending this again. Again, we got a cache sequence cannot be null. Let's quickly test this. .30. So get username from the token, and this is trying to throw the 4030. Let me quickly check this. So in this one, there is one small issue that if in this case, when this is a public API, so this JWT will always be null. So we have to simply check if JWT is not equal to null, then only we will do this validation. We will try to extract the username from it. So let's quickly add it and save it. Now let's quickly restart the application. Let's come over here. Let's go over here. The username. Let's quickly cut this. Paste it over here. Null. Username is equal to this one. Let's quickly restart the application and try once again. Now our application is started on Tomcat or port 8080. Let me quickly clear this. Now move back over here, send this. And it's processing. And here you can see this. We got the response 200 OK. And if I go over here to the one which we have working. So if you see, we have inserted a user and we see verification email sent to the netflixdemo@melinator.com. Let's quickly check this email box. So if we see over here, we got a verification email just now. If I click on this, here you can see this. Thank you for registering. Please verify your email address by clicking on the link below. This link will expire in 24 hours. So the one whatever we have set, it's working fine. Now let's move further. Now we'll move back to the auth controller and start development of the login. So at the rate post mapping, and this will be /login. This will be the public method and the response entity, and this will accept login request. So this login request we have created in the previous videos, so you can refer that. At the rate valid, and then @request body, and we are going to accept login request. Okay, over here this will be login response. Login response, and over here we will accept the login request. Login request, and in this one what we will do is we will simply create this one login response. Response is equal to auth service dot login, and with this one we will simply pass login request dot get email, and we will pass login request dot get password. And this method doesn't exist in the auth service, that's why it's showing as red. And finally what we will do is we will simply return response entity, and do this one response entity dot OK, and we will return the response. Now what we will do is we will hover on this one, and it will ask us to create the method. So click on this create method login in the auth service. So if you see, I have added a login. Okay, let me just remove it. It's added in a very bad way. Okay, so let's move back over here to the auth controller, and we need the login method. So if I go to the auth service, over here we will declare one login response login. This will accept string email and string password. Done. If I go to the login request, let me just open that. DTO request and login request, and in this you can see we have already added the validation @email, and if this one is not valid and it's not null, check is already added by the validator. So this will validate at the REST controller itself, and it will throw out if these two parameters are not matched, like not blank, and the type should be email. Okay. Next thing, move back to the auth service, and then we have to go to the auth service symbol, and over here if we hover this, it will show method to implement. So select that, implement method, select this login, and click on OK. In this method, first thing what we have to do is we have to make some space over here, and we have to create the object of user, that is from entity. User is equal to user repository dot find by email, and with this one we will pass the email dot filter and user password encoder dot matches, and with this one we will pass the password and u dot get password, or else throw an exception, new bad credential exception. This again we have created in the previous video. Invalid email or password. Now save this. Over here, it might be you have a doubt that from the UI this password must be being sent as a plain text, and from the repository when we call this find by email, it's being returned as a encoded if you have encoded the password. Right now I have a plain text, so it will work. And for the encoded also it will work because it compares. This is a predefined method from the password encoder, so it will work fine if this password is encoded and this one is as a plain text, but still it will compare. Okay, next thing, now we got the user. If not user dot is active, it means that user is disabled. So in that case, throw new account deactivated exception, which we have already created, and this one we will simply return your account has been deactivated. Please contact support for assistance. Next thing what we have to do is if not user dot email verified, it means that he didn't click on the email link and the account is still not activated. So in that case, throw new email verification, email not verified exception. Into this one we will simply return, please verify your email address before logging in. Check your inbox for the verification link. Next thing, finally what we have to do is, suppose this is active and the verification is also done. In that case, we have to generate the token. Final string, token will be immutable. So we have already created an object of JWT-utils and we have auto-wired it over here. So what we will do is, we will simply call JWT-util.generate token, which we have already created the method for the same. In this one, we have to pass the user.getEmail. And the second thing, we have to pass user.getRole.name, which we have to set. So let me quickly show you this generate token method. So in this one, you can see I'm passing the username and role. So we have created claims. Into this one, I'm passing the role as claim. And then in this one, I'm passing claims and then subject. Subject I'm setting as a username, and the claims I'm setting, all of the claims right now I'm setting only role. You can add multiple if you want. Move back over here. Now the token is generated. And finally, what we have to do is, now it's time to remove this null part. So return new login response. Into this one, token user.getEmail, user.getFullName, user.getRole.name. And now this is done. So let's quickly restart our application and test this login functionality. Let me quickly duplicate this. So I think name is not required. And now let me just remove this as well. I will simply pass as empty. And now let's see if we got exception from the REST controller. So if I send it, here you can see this 409 conflict. Okay, this is sign up. Let me check for login. So here you can see this password is required and this message is added at this place. If you see in the login request, password is required. If I revert this, add a password and remove this .com from the end, send it. Here you can see this invalid email or password. Let me quickly add it back and now send it. Here you can see this, please verify your email address before logging in. So it means that the mail which we have got while subscribing, that is not there. Okay, so what I will do is, I will do once again let me quickly, as I'm using a Melinator. So what happened is, the mail will be removed in couple of time. So let me quickly go over here to this one, go to this one, and let me remove the records from the database. So use okay. Let me just update the email. I will just change the email so that the validation is failed and I can work with the another email. This is just like this and hit enter. Okay, so email is updated. Now our existing, this one will work again. Okay, because the email is changed. So let me just try this. So 200, and now I got the mail again, and this time I'm going to verify that. So click on this, click on this one, and this will not work because we haven't created this verify email token. So what I will do is I will go in the database for now, and I will mark this verified email verified as true. So update users set email verified is equal to true. So 2 was impacted, and if I go over here and just click on login, so here you can see this. We got the token, and we got the email, we got the full name, we got the role. So this endpoint we are going to develop in this video itself. So we will do in a couple of minutes. So now our login is working fine, and all of the validation is working as expected. Now let's minimize this one and move back over here. Next API which we are going to do is validate email. So let's go over here, and into this one I'm going to put the get mapping @get mapping, and this one / validate email. We have to put in the double quotes. So public response entity. Into this one we will simply return email validation response validate email @request param, and we will simply accept string email return response entity. Into this one response entity dot OK, and we will simply return auth service dot validate email, and with this one we will pass the email. So we will hover on this one, create method in this one, auth service. This one is created, and you can manually type it if it's not created that way. Now we will go to the auth service simple, go to the top, hover on this one, implement method, click on OK. So for the validate one, let's just remove this. Boolean exists is equal to user repository dot exist by email return new email validation response exists. If not exists, we will simply return not exists. Available is false if it exists, and if it not exists, we will return this, because on the UI itself we are doing the validation. So for that purpose this will work. So let's quickly restart and test this one. Duplicate tab, and this is a get mapping. So get mapping, and this is validate email. Validate email in the request param, in the email key, it needs an email. Email is equal to, and let me copy the same email. It exists is equal to true, and it's available for a new user account uses, that is returning as false. Let me change this one to 2. And now try to run this. See, exist false and available is true. It means that this one is available for use, but it's not available in the database. If we go over here, if we try to check it, select start from users. So we have added 1, and we have 4 times 2 over here. If I change this one to 4 times, it means that this one is available in the database. So it will simply return true as exists in the database, but not available for a new sign up. So this one is also working fine. Let's move back to the controller, and let's quickly stop this. So next we have is verify email. So this is again get mapping. Into this one we have simply verify dash email public response entity. Into this one we will respond the message response. Verify email at the request param string token. Then we will simply return response entity dot OK, and this is of type auth service dot verify email, which doesn't exist. We will create it right away and we will pass the token. So hover on this one, create a method, and here you can see this one is created. Verify email. This one is returning a message response and accepting one token. Let's go to the implementation for this one. That is nothing but ServiceUtils. So go to the top, hover on this one, implement method, select this and click on OK. So over here, first we will remove this one. Then we will create user object. So user is equal to user repository dot find by verification token. So we haven't created that in the repository. So let's quickly create it. So go to the repository DAO and we will go to the user repository. Next thing we have to add is optional, and this will return a user find by verification token. This will accept string verification token. This will be handled by the JPA, so we don't have to write any query over here. So move back over here. We will simply type this verification token, and into this one we have to pass the token, or else throw, if this one is not available, then new invalid token exception. Token exception, this is again we have created in the previous video. Invalid or expired verification token. If this is not the case, we got the user repository. So now what we have to do is if user.get verification token expiry is equal to null. First thing, if it's null, or user.get verification token expiry dot is before the instant dot now. It means that it's before the right now time. Let's quickly minimize this one so you can see it clearly. If this is the case, just close this, okay, close this one. So if this is the case, I think now it's clearly visible. In that case, throw new invalid token exception verification link has expired. Please request a new one. If these are not the case, then what we will do is user.set email verified as true, else we will set user.set verification token as null, and we will set user.set verification token expiry as null, and we will finally save it. So user repository.save user, and we will simply return new message response. Into this one we will simply return email verified successfully. You can now log in. Now let's start this and we will sign up with an email. We will verify by using this endpoint and we will try to log in with the same account. So let's quickly move back over here. Go over here and you can see I have that mail there, and this is already basically we have created as let me quickly delete this one. So I will create a new Netflix 2 demo 2, and here you can see this, we got this Netflix demo 2. So now what I will do is I will copy this one. Let's quickly open the Postman and I will try to create a new account over here with the demo 2. Now try to send it and let's see over here if we got a mail over here or not. Okay, so now we got the verification email. Now let's quickly try to sign in with this one, the new one, that is 2. And here you will see the message that please verify your email before you log in. We will use this validate is already working. Next one is duplicate tab, and this is for nothing but verify email. This is a get mapping, and in this one we have to simply pass the token. So verify email, and we have to pass the token instead of. Okay, so we don't have to use this one. From the mail only, when we click on that URL, it will be called, right? So let's quickly move over here, and we have this URL already ready. So we will click on this and we will see, okay, localhost refuse the connection. So let me quickly copy this one, this much part. Okay, so this one is going in the front end, but it's not working because front end is not loaded. Let me quickly move over here and paste it because I'm going to paste the token. So if I send this, here you can see this email verification successfully. You can now log in. Now if I go over here and not over here in the login, you can see I've tried with the demo 2. Now if I try to send again, now I got the token because without updating in the database directly. So the flow for this one is working fine. So verification is done. Next thing, we want to resend the verification token. For that, we have to develop an endpoint. So move back over here. Let me quickly stop this. For that, we need to add another endpoint at the rate post mapping. This will be /resend verification. Public response entity. This will return message response. Resend verification. And this will accept and validate valid and request body, and this will request email request, and so simply return a response entity, and this will be okay auth service dot resend verification email. Into this one we will pass email request dot get email, and simply done. We can keep the name as same, resend verification. Okay. So hover on this one, it will ask you to create a method. So let's create it. We don't need this one because these are already added at the REST controller. So if I go over here to Auth controller, in the email request, these all stuff is already added. So at the service layer, we don't need it. So if I move back over here to the Auth service, you can see we have message response. The response type is, and the method name is resend verification, and it's accepting one string email. So let's go over here to the auth service impl, and over here it will show an error like this. Click on this one, implement method, select resend verification, click on OK. a new method will be added. Let's quickly remove this. Over here, we will simply call user is equal to, and we have already created the ServiceUtils. So we will simply call ServiceUtils dot get user by ID. We are using email. So by email and or through. So this one is done. In the service util, I will show you the method simply calling the user repository, and we are throwing an exception if that one is not there. So close this. So these all stuff I have already done before in this video. So move forward. So string verification token is equal to UUID dot random UUID dot toString. Next thing is user dot set verification token. We will set the verification token into this one. We will set user dot set verification token expiry. So instant dot now dot plus seconds. Into this one we will pass 86,400. That is 24 hours. User repository dot save the user, and what we will do is we will simply call email service dot send verification email. We will pass the email and we will pass the verification token. And now to the UI we will simply return the new message response, that verification email resent successfully. Please check your inbox. Now save this. Now start our application and let's quickly test this. To test this, again we have to sign up with a new account. So I'm going to sign up with a 3. Let's quickly send this. So now I need Netflix demo 3. So back to inbox. Now I need 3. Go to 3. And here you can see this. We got a mail. But with this mail, I'm not going to verify. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a new one. Right click on this. Duplicate this. Let me click copy this one. Resend verification. And in the request body, we have to send the resend verification. This is of type post, and we have to send the email ID to this one. So as a body we have to send the email, so we don't have to send this password, and we have to simply send the email. So Netflix demo 3@188.com. Let's send this, and if we see if we got another email or not. So here you can see this. We got this minutes ago, and this we got just now. It means that this API is also working as expected with the new token. So now if we go and if you search in the database with this token, we will get it. So let's quickly test that as well. Select star from users where verification underscore token is equal to this one. Here you can see this. We got one user. That is nothing but demo 3. If you see in the same email, we got 2 emails. So earlier one also contains one token. So I will test that as well. So that should not be available because that one is replaced with the newer one. So let's try this one. And here you can see this. We got reset. It means that older one has been replaced with the newer one. So this one is working as expected. Let's move to our service auth controller. Next thing we have is forgot password. So @post mapping, and in this one we will have forgot password. So forgot password public response entity and this will return a message response. Forgot password, and this will accept valid @request body, and this will accept email request, and this will simply return a response entity .ok from the auth service .forgot password, and this will accept email request .get email. So the validation for the email is already done at this email request. Now we have to move over here, click on this one, create method. These validation are already there, so this one is not required at this place. Forgot password, and this one is added over here. Next thing, we have to give the implementation for this one. So again, we have to go to the auth service impl. Move back over here. You can see this is showing an error. So hover on this one, implement method, click on OK. Let's remove this one. So again over here, user is equal to ServiceUtils.getUser by email or throw exception. So email. Now we got the user. So next thing is string reset token is equal to UUID dot random UUID dot toString. Then what we will do is user dot set password reset token, then user dot set password reset token expiry to instant dot now dot plus seconds. This one we will pass 3600, that is 1 hour. And what we will do is we will simply call user repository dot save, and with this one we will pass the user. Next thing, we will simply send the email dot send password reset email. With this one we will pass email, and second thing, we have to pass the reset token, and simply we have to return a new message response, that is nothing but password reset email sent successfully. Please check your inbox. Now let's restart the application and test this. Okay, so it's showing some error. Okay, so we have forgot to put the semicolon over here. So let's start this one. Let's go to auth controller and let's open Postman, duplicate this one, and we have to simply change this forget password endpoint. Send this on the same email. So let's quickly check in the demo tree. Here you can see this password reset, we got this. So we receive a request to reset your password. Click the link below to reset it. This is a token. The link will expire in 1 hour. If you didn't request a password reset, please ignore this email. So this one is working as expected. Next thing, what we have is, we have change password. So move back over here, go to auth controller. We have reset password. So move back over here at the rate. Before we proceed with the change password, we have to add one more, that is to reset password. So at the rate post mapping / reset password public response entity message response reset password valid @request body reset password request reset password request. So if we go inside this one, we will see we are getting the token and we are getting the new password. So new password must be at least 6 character. So move over here, move over here. This will be the reset password which will be called. So if we go and check over here, here you can see this reset password. So this, when we click on this specific endpoint with this token will be called and it will ask for user for a new password and other stuff. Okay. So into this one, we will simply return response entity dot OK auth service dot reset password, and with this one we will simply pass reset password request dot get token, and we will pass reset password request dot get new password, and simply close this one. Okay, so it's showing an error because in the auth service this method doesn't exist. So click on this one, click on this, create method, this one, and these are not required. Click on this, new password, auth service, okay. When we click move back over here, I think I have removed one extra. So I have removed that token as well. So that was not supposed to be removed. We have to remove only this much part. Yeah. So like this it's required. So if I move back over here to the auth controller, and now the error is gone. Now move back over here to auth service simple. Click on this one. Hover on this, implement method, select reset password. And now we can see this one is added. So let's quickly do this. So let's remove this one. User is equal to user repository dot find by password reset token. So we don't have that query for now in the user repository. So we will move back over here and we will quickly add this option, and this is going to return a user find by password reset token string password reset token. Now let's quickly copy this. This will be handled by the JP again, and quickly paste it over here by reset token. Into this one we will pass the token. Then if this is not the case, then all else throw exception, new invalid token exception, invalid or expired reset token. If user.get password reset token expiry is equal to null, or user.get password expiry token expiry dot is before the instant dot now So in this case, we will have to throw the exception. Let me minimize this so that you can see this clearly. So this will what we have to do, throw new invalid token exception, reset token has expired. Next thing, if this is not the case, then what we will do is we will simply return user.setPassword, whatever we have got by using the password encoder.encode, and we have to set the new password into this one. User.setPassword reset token as null so that they can't use the same token again. User.setPassword reset token expiry as null. And simply we will call user repository.save user. And we will return new message response. Into this one we will return password reset successfully. You can now log in with your new password. Now let's test this. So I have started the application. Let's move back over here to the auth controller. And this is a post mapping. And in this one, we will need the older token and the new password. Okay, so this one is failing due to some issue. Let me quickly check this. Okay, so I think we have made some mistake while writing the user repository. Find password. Let me quickly check this. Find by password reset token. So let's quickly check if we have this password reset token in the PTO, the entity user. I have made a mistake. Reset, S-E-T, reset token. Password reset token. So let's quickly start our application and try to test now. Okay, so set, okay, we have to change this one. Password reset token expiry. Set password reset token. Now let's try to start this. Okay. SED reset token, reset token, reset token. Now let's start this. And here you can see this. Now our application is up and running. So let me quickly minimize this one. Go to auth controller and just move back over here to the postman. Copy this and duplicate this one. Let's quickly copy this reset password. Go to body. In the body we need email and we need the token. So we will get the token for the password reset from this one. Move back over here to the postman. We will pass the token inside this one as well. And try to send this. So you can see this error must not be null. Okay. Let's check what is required over here. So we need token and new password. Token, no email is required, and new password. Earlier was 1234 5 6 5 it was. Now I've added 6. Let's quickly check for over here. Okay, it was 6 as well. Now we will add a one more digit, that is 7. So you can see this. Okay, invalid or expired reset token it's showing. Quickly check back over here to this one. Let's check over here, invalid or expired reset token. So it means that that one is expired. Why? Because we have updated the column, so it might has created a new column in the database, but so here you can see this password reset token, it has created a new column instead of updating the existing one. So that's why it's null. So we are testing for the user 3. So what we have to do is we have to copy this token. Okay, this is a token, right? C, and this is B3. So we have to set this over here. So update users set, because these two columns are not there for now. Update set, and we have to set this password reset token is equal to, and we have to set this token, and we have to set password reset expiry token is equal to this one, where ID is equal to 4. Here you can see this. Now this one is added. I've simply added the values from the existing one to the new fields. And now if I go over here, now try to reset password. Here you can see this password reset successfully. You can now log in with the new password. So if I go over here to the login, so this is my third account. If I try to log in, it will not work because we have changed this one till 7. Now send this, and here you can see this. It's asking for me to verify the email. It means that its logging is working fine. Now we are able to find the user, and this verification email, we have this exception or the error we have returned from the service. So it means that this one is working fine. Next thing we have is change password. So move back over here. Let's quickly stop this, minimize this one, move back to the auth controller, and with this one we will add a change password. So at the rate post mapping password public response entity, and this time it will be question mark because it can return a different values. Change password authentication the second thing is at the rate valid request body change password request let me quickly make some space over here. Okay, in this one, first thing we will get the email. So email from the authentication dot get name. org spring framework security.co. So if I hover on this one, so this came from a wrong import, that's why it's not showing. org spring framework dot security dot authentication spring framework security then core dot authentication. Yeah. So over here, now if we try to search for get name, yeah, this one is working fine this time. Okay. Once we got the email, we have to simply return response entity dot OK, and this one we will call this auth service dot change password. Into this one we will simply pass email. We'll pass change password request dot get current password. We will pass change password request dot get new password and simply close this. So this method is not available in the auth service. So hover on this one, click on this, create method over here. And these all validation are not required because these are already at the TTO. And we are not calling this internally to validate over here. The return type is, for this one is again, the message response over here. So go to auth controller, auth service simple, and over here it will start showing an error. So click on this, hover on this one, implement method, select change password, click on OK. So in this one, message response, and we are getting this email, change current password and new password. So simply return, remove this one. First we will get user is equal to ServiceUtils dot get user by email or throw exception. So email, we will got the user object. If not, password encoder dot matches, into this one we will pass current password, comma user dot get password, then throw new invalid credentials exception. Is incorrect. If this is not the case, then what we will do is user dot set password and password encoder dot encode and new password and user repository dot save and save the user and simply return the message. So return new message response, and with this one we will simply return password changed successfully. Quickly test this one. So go to auth controller, start our application, and let's test the change password. This is a post mapping. So move back over here, right click on this, duplicate this one. Now application is up and running at port 8080 if you see. Then we quickly minimize this one. Change password. In the change password, it needs a current password and the new password. So in the body, current password and a new password. So I'm just passing this wrong as a current password. So if I try to send it, here you can see this 403. And if I go over here, here you can see. Okay. So this is not a bypassed API. So we have to pass the token into this one. So go to login. And okay, so let me verify this email as true. So move back over here. Set email verified as true for all emails. So now here you can see this. Now this verification email is true. Now if I move back over here, send this. Now we will get the token. Now we have to send this token as a header in the last one. So in the headers, in the authentication, we have to select over here the bearer. We have to pass the token and we have to send this. So you can see this current password is incorrect. But for this user, we have the current password as 12345667. So 12345667. And now I'm going to set a newer one as 8. Now send it. And you can see this password changed successfully. Now if I try to send it again, it will fail. Because current password is this one, which we have already updated. So now this one is working as well. So over here, if you try to get it again, it will not work. You have to get it by using 8. Okay, sorry. 7 and 8 as well. So send it. And here you can see this, we got a newer one. So let's quickly minimize this one. And minimize this one as well. So let me just stop our application, go to Auth controller. In the Auth controller, last endpoint which we need in the Auth controller is nothing but @get mapping. And with this one, we will simply call as, this is to get the current user. Okay, by mistake, I have started writing inside the previous method block. Get mapping, current user, public response entity, and this is again going to return a login response. Current user, and this will simply accept authentication string email is equal to authentication dot get name, and it will simply return response entity dot ok auth service dot current user. Into this one we will pass the email. So now hover on this one because this method doesn't exist. So create this method, login response, go to auth service simple, and we will provide the implementation for this one. So in this one, we have to simply hover on this, implement method, select this current user, remove this one, user is equal to ServiceUtils dot get user by email, and we will get this email. And we will simply return a new login response, and with this one we will pass null user.getEmail. You have to pass user.getFullName. You have to pass user.getRole.name. So this constructor we have already created in the login response. That is all our constructor, and we are passing all the 4 values. So we are passing token is null, and we are passing the remaining values. So now this one is done. So let's start our application. Let's quickly test this. Okay. So I have missed a slash over here. So on the starting of this current user, you have to put a slash. Let's start our application and let's test this. Open a Postman and duplicate this one. And in this one, this is a get call, and in this one no body is required, so none, and we have to pass the token because from the token itself it's picking up the value, the email. Let's clear this one. Our application is up and running, and send this. So here you can see this, we got the token is null, we got the email netflixdemo3 melinator.com, and we got the full name and we got the role. So that's all for this video, guys. We have developed the complete end-to-end auth controller, and we have tested all of the endpoints. So just stay tuned, subscribe and share with your friends, and thanks for watching.